Okay, this is coaching call number 3, calling with Paul. And today we talk about extending the attraction elements, or attraction is what we call marketing, really. Because in our world, attraction is really what it's all about. We're attracting interest to helping people versus marketing, which is often, tied to the sales system. So before anybody can listen to us, before we can build any relationships, we have to somehow attract them. So, Paul, let's run over a little bit about what we've reviewed so far, if that's okay with you, and just kind of, make sure we're on track with it. So in week 1, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the warm market. And so we talked about how to open conversations and who the warm market is, extending that, and also just to elaborate just a little bit, one of the greatest warm market niches that you can possibly keep your eyes open for, and again, don't go out and try to, engage them just with no reason, but keep your eye open for people who are in network marketing, who are struggling to make it work. So with people that are struggling, we can sure help them with the free consultation to give them some other ideas, because typically they struggle because they don't have anything they can do that they're willing to do. And so that's another niche. And the other niche is big leaders in a company who are interested in leveraging their training time and helping people who are not currently producing to, start doing something. And so, what we do, what we talked about in week 1 and week 2 is something the majority of people can do most of the time. So there's really a path for everybody, because most people in network marketing want to help people. So with those things said, because I know you've got some background in network marketing and probably some contacts and some people in a downline that aren't performing. So with warm market, Paul, how did any warm market conversations go? How's it working out for you with that?
Well, it's been a little slow going initially. I just, like I said, having a little bit of trouble getting in contact with people.
Okay.
But I'm persisting. I'm staying with the plan and looking toward when I have an opportunity to talk with them to go into more depth on the on GP.
Okay, and here's the thing: if you don't get to talk to them, right? It's always good to send them your link to your GPN page. Okay. So remember, if you go into gpncenter.com, go there with me right now.
Okay.
And just to remind you where that's at. And it's also part of our marketing attraction tactics we can use today. So let me know when you've logged in.
Okay. I'm in now. Okay.
Okay, and then go to the top page next to the home page. The White House with the red roof is always the home page. Click the My Account link.
Okay.
Okay, and under My Account, under the sublink Manage Membership, which is right next to the first link, Manage Profile, second link from the left.
Okay.
It says a link, standard member, mlmnurturemarketing.com/Paul Sneed, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so with Paul Sneed, if you open that in a new tab, just right click and then open in a new tab, you can see that landing page is something you could also direct people to. Now, I don't recommend sending people to here just willy-nilly, because, why would they look unless you give them a reason to look? And we'll talk about that a little bit more today. But keep that in mind, because if you can't get a hold of people, or if you email them, say, hey, I'm trying to reach you, wanted to see if you could use some help, check out, if it's the second or third call, send an email with that link in it, check out the site. And they can also request a free consultation on that site, and it's, of course, coded for you. So, that works out too.
So maybe say, check out my site and to receive a free coaching session, or?
Yeah. No, it's not a coaching session. It's a consultation to see how home. Remember the warm market conversation we had. Free consultation that helps people see how home business can work for them in a way that's comfortable. So if there's somebody in your downline, say, hey, obviously you're not performing because you're not comfortable, trying to reach you to give you a couple of ideas on what you could do. Something like that. And again, your words, not my script, your words. Think of your words. and just say, in your own words, the way you would say it to them, since I can't reach you, here's a link of a group of people that can help you see if you can make home business or succeed in home business the way it's comfortable. That's what we do. Succeed in home business in a way that's comfortable. So check out this link if you'd like to do that. And if they don't ever check out the link, they're probably just waiting your downline. Don't worry about it much, right? Okay. So it's really important now at this point to get your words, your feelings around what we're doing here. And that's what we do. We help people if they're not in the business, we help them see if home business would be a good fit. That's what the free consultation is all about. If they are in a business, we help them see if they could work the business in a way that's comfortable for them and finally succeed. So that's in a nutshell, without all the marketing jargon around it. That's really what we do. No business, help people see if it'd be a good fit, have a business but not doing anything about it, see if there's a way that they could work the business in a way that's comfortable for them so they would actually do it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, definitely.
So if you were sending somebody an email with this link and you wanted to get that idea across, like your downline people, because we have a huge success rate, really good, like a third or better of the time people join, if they're really looking for that. How might you send an email to your downline, somebody you can't reach, somebody you've been trying to reach, they're in your downline, so you've got that relationship with them. They should definitely be calling you back. If they're not, look out, there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But, it's just taking their temperature, And so you say to them, hey, here's a link, to a consultation to see if there's a way you can build your business in a way that's comfortable for you. How might you express that idea in an email to them? What would you say?
Let's see. Well, I'll just say hi, something like, hi, Gary, I'm trying to reach you. I wanted to talk to you about what I mentioned in my last voicemail, that I found a community that's very supportive and a way to grow your home-based business that's more comfortable. And I'd love to have you learn more about it and check out my website. Here's a link you can go to get more information.
Yeah, perfect. See, that's authentic. Because at this stage, when you want people to engage with you, you want it to be authentic. And so that is very authentic because it's really your word. So you're just communicating that idea really, really, really good. So I would say it's an action step for you, Paul, because you're one of those people that actually have people in a downline that aren't performing. Work with those people and invite them. And say the second call, you can't reach them, send them that email. You know what I mean? Just say, hey, I've been trying to reach. I left you a message. I'm Paul, the guy in your upline. You're trying to help you here, right? And so that's a good reason to call you back, just for no other reason. And then send that email. Just say, Reese, I'm trying to reach you. Since I can't reach you, here's a link. Check it out. Let me know if you'd like to do something. Then make call 3. And if they don't respond by call 3, just tell them you're not going to call again. You're not going to waste your time. You know what I mean? Just tell them flat out, you're not responding. I'm only looking for people that are serious. Obviously you're not, or, something that would feel good to you, and just let them go. Get them, and just realize they're never going to do anything. And, 6 months from now, you might hear from them again. You never know. Okay. So we got to get your list cleared up. And for you, warm market is working the people of course, the people you encounter in everyday life, people you enjoy activities with, and the people that are in your downline that aren't performing.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, let's either activate them or never think of them again. And it's not harsh when we say never think about them again. It sounds a little bit harsh, but it's really a situation where we have to get an investment in our time. And all top leaders in any business, network marketing, traditional business, corporate America, anything, top leaders, if they're dealing with people that are not responding, they can't waste their time with them because they have other people that they have to pay attention to. So pay attention to the people that are responding. After 3 phone calls, you're their upline, and they don't call you back, they're not responding, let them go and tell them you're going to let them go. If you ever get back on track, let me know and I can help you. But otherwise, if I don't hear from you, I can't. And let it go from there. And oftentimes I find in that takeaway call that you'll get callbacks because they want to know what they're missing because you're so willing to let them go. You're not just going to chase them till they're blue in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not.
So I've gotten quite a few phone calls. I mean, not everybody, but I've gotten response back from people that when I say I'm not going to really bother with you anymore. I'm not going to. I just don't have the time. You're not responding. Obviously, you're not interested. I don't want to bug you. That's my approach. I don't want to bug you. So I'm just I'm going to take you off my follow-up list and assume you're never going to work business. Goodbye. That's it. And then, well, no, hang on a second. I just, this and that happened, life happened, because that happens too. So we have to be kind, but we also have to get a return for our time, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So that was week 1. Any questions on the warm market? And let's make the action step for this week. If you want to write that down, let's engage with those 90 people that are doing nothing in your business right now, your downline. Let's call them up. Let's make a 3-call process. Do that email, your own words. Here's the link in your own words since I can't reach you. And then call 3 of the takeaway call and, see who we can get a hold of and see who's engaged. And we can help those people who are just not comfortable because helping people is often more comfortable than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you don't want to do all 90 in one shot, I guess, right?
Well, I don't think you have the time to do that. Do 5 a day.
5 a day. Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Just do some small amount. In other words, manage when you have a lot of people to call. They often say in time management, they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You can't devour the whole elephant in one bite. Right. So 90 people. Well, if you sat down for 8 hours, 10 hours, you could probably call 90 people, but you'd be a complete burnout. So let's call. But I know you work a full-time job, as many people in network marketing do. And so, we got to manage that. So if we call 3 people a day, 5 days a week, 15 people a week, it'd take a while to do it, but it's better than calling nobody and not ever engaging the people.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And if we called 10 a day, 5 a day, we just have to manage based on our time. And, if you're mostly leaving messages, then leave the message. That takes a few minutes. Send the email after the second call, make a 3rd call takeaway, and let them go.
Very good.
So you're using your time. You're only sending the one email. You're only sending the one email, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take a lot of time. So whatever you can do, the more you do, the quicker you get through it. If you did 10 calls a day in about two business weeks, 5 days, 9 days, you'd have it done. If you did 5 calls a day, it'd take 18 days. So, just whatever you have the time to do. But even if you did 3 a day, it would still get done ultimately. We'd be eating a little bit smaller bites of that elephant, but it would get done ultimately, right?
Exactly, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Okay. And then last week, in week 2, we talked about working with pre-stage leads, and we talked about the pre-staging outline and all those different things. So from pre-staging, Paul, what did we come up with for you? I know we're doing the voice blast, but what are we doing beyond that?
Well,
if anything,
I don't know what else. I think at this point you recommended that was my best choice. For the bang for the buck kind of thing. To go with
and because of your time, because you work a full-time job and you have a little bit of money to invest, so that could work.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know I have some in the back office too. I'm not sure what's happening with those, but those are the ones that have been arranged through Denis. And I think there's like about 50 or 60 maybe. Let me see here.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. So I think that's another possibility there. But I really like the voicemail blast, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out as far as so.
Well, if you go to your back office, just so you know, go to Building My Business and Future Member Tracking.
That's wrong. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. All right. And then I see free consultations.
Under the free consultation, don't worry about the follow-up needed because that's something that we're working on with our Nurture Marketing Partner team for you because those are older leads we're looking to reactivate for you. But under free consultations, take a look at the activity in since April 15th, which is last week's call. And I'm assuming these are people who came in from the voice broadcast since I don't think you were doing pre-staging, were you?
I don't know exactly.
Were you calling leads at all? No?
No. These are ones that I think they're the premier leads or the pre-qualified leads, I believe.
Okay, these are new people in the pre-qualified program?
Yeah, that was my understanding. And they go back. Well, there's some here that go way back for a year old, but I think those are previous ones that I had.
Okay.
So,
yeah, we're only looking at April 15th, 2013 forward. Tia Richardson, Kim Cook, Brandon Sementelli.
Okay. I'm showing 47 pre-qualified leads, though. That's the ones that they're under my referral program, I guess. Or where are they? How did I get there? But yeah, there's 47 there at this point. So
yeah, these are pre-qualified, but look under future member tracking.
Okay.
And then free consultations. These are the most recent, April 15th and April 20th.
Okay. Are those? I think those are from the pre-qualified, I believe. Yeah.
I'm not sure, or if they're from the if the voice blast already happened and these are people from that. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You mentioned an email that I should be getting too as well for that voicemail blast that I would get eventually, or letting me know that it went out or it did happen. No. I haven't seen that come through yet.
Yeah, yes, you should get an email on that as well. So my question though, I guess, is that 3 leads, Brandon, Kim, and Tia, that we see back here, are there not people you pre-staged? These are people that came from the pre-qualified or from some other program, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So we're keeping that going. And so we're right now we're kind of keeping track of your marketing tactics or your attraction tactics. So we have the warm market, working with your downline. That's one attraction tactic. And now we're working with the voice blast and reactivating people in the pre-qualified program from the past, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like there's 3 new leads, one with a live contact, which is really, really good.
Yeah, I see that Brandon there. Okay.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with Brandon. Kind of go from there. That was just happened. So anytime you want to keep track, this is where to do it. And just so you know, under where it says Map Program, two leads down from future member tracking says Map Program.
Leads down. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, and then that's where the voice broadcast, premium, and pre-qualified deluxe leads are. And if you ever decide that you have more time and you want to add, premium leads to the package, you could certainly do that following that pre-qualified deluxe script or the pre-qualified GPM pre-qualified script outline that we looked at the last 2 weeks as part of that. Right now, I know you don't have time, but if your time opened up or something like that, that's something else you could do to where you could take a more active part too, if you had the time to do that in the program, okay?
Okay. Those are the premium leads, right, you're talking about?
That would be under premium leads, yeah, much less expensive, but then that's because you're doing the pre-qualifying work in voice broadcast and pre-qualified deluxe leads. We're doing all the work and bringing you into the process for the cream of the crop on the voice broadcast, which I think is a good value right now, maybe your best value right now.
Yeah, the pre-qualified. Oh, I see. No, I'm looking at a different one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and don't worry about pre-qualified. We're going to be looking for you. We're going to be looking at voice broadcast and warm market. So let's keep those 2 things. Let's make a note of those. Those are your marketing tactics. And then pre-qualified deluxe leads from the past are being worked now to get people reactivated. And if you ever had more time, you might consider adding premium leads as another way to kind of reach out. But right now, I think what you're doing with warm market, concentrate on that because that's your highest conversion probability. Referrals are always the best. And then second, the voice broadcast, we've had really good results from that. And then, of course, from the past, we're reactivating some of those leads that we can, and the nurture marketing team is working with those as well. Okay?
All right.
Now, today, it's always good in business to have more than one marketing tactic under your belt. So if all you did was voice broadcast, for example, or if all you did was warm market, well, if any of that stopped working or slowed down seasonally or for whatever reason, there's a problem, So we like to always see marketing and attraction as a Parthenon versus a diving board. So in other words, a Parthenon has many pillars, several pillars to hold up the structure. A diving board has just like goes up, goes out, boop, we jump off of it. It either works or it doesn't. So this way we start to expand the attraction in a way that makes sense, realizing that you don't have a lot of time. So we've already said warm market, and you're going to be using your downline or talking to your downline to refer. We talked about voice broadcast as a way for you to do pre-staging, but you could also consider the premium leads if ever time came out. But then we also have things out there like social media, content marketing, which ties into social media nicely, doing live events, going to business networking, which you likely don't have time for, advertising, which you may have time for, or some other tactic that you might employ. So between social media, content marketing, business networking, live events, advertising, something else, what might be one more thing that we could add to the table that would make sense to you in terms of attracting people to the GPN free consultation to help them see if home business would be a good fit, or if they're already in network marketing, to help them see if they could do it and succeed in a way that's comfortable?
Good question.
Huh?
That's a good question.
Thank you. I get paid extra to ask the good questions,
Yeah, I don't know if I have an answer, though.
Okay. Well, let's decide. Let's pick one, or let me give you resources to look at so you can select one.
Okay, sure.
So you're on Facebook a lot. What's I don't know how much you're on Facebook, but I see you pop up in my news feed quite a bit, once in a while. So how do you relate social medias like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that stuff? But Facebook is really good for network marketers. That's why so many of them are over there. So do you enjoy being on Facebook? Do you enjoy interaction on social media?
Not that much really, though. I've never really become that engaged in that medium.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just time wise, or because it's something I would have to something I just don't do on a regular basis, I guess, because I just I tend to be more in the email world, I guess, but I do go on occasionally. I try to engage at at least a fairly regular level, but it's not something I make an effort to do on a regular, that I try to engage in at a large amount of time.
Okay.
With.
All right, so maybe that's not good. Do you like to write, or do you like to record ideas? Like content marketing would be, blog posts, recordings, that sort of thing. Ideas that you like to express, things you like to see in the world, and talk about. Do you like doing that at all?
Yeah, there are times I like to do that. I mean, I write all day. That's my job. So.
Oh, okay. So you're a writer for your job.
Yeah, I'm a technical writer.
I
just all day long I'm on the computer writing.
Okay.
So it's a little different in nature in that sense.
Here's something to realize is that the GPN blog, under content marketing category, the GPN blog publishes stuff for our members all the time. And what I recommend our members do that are using content marketing is to write an article, talking like 150 words or less. I mean, if you can say something powerful in 25 words, that is the most widely read blog post ever. You see what I mean? So it doesn't have to be a 500-word tome. 150 words or less. If it's more than 150 words, the chances of it getting read become very nil. 100 words, an idea, something you observe, talking to your downline, why people come into action, things like that. If you were to do something like that once a week and email it to us, we publish it on the blog, then you could every week email your downline people and people you have in the queue that you're, like warm market people that you've been referring to, and say, hey, I wrote an article that got published in the GPN blog and wanted to share it with you. It's about blah, and send it out, a little paragraph. So this could be effective for you because you're a writer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Technical or otherwise, that's fine. Basically you just write like you talk, and you talk really well. So that might be a thought. How does that feel to you?
That might work. Doing that.
And there's no blog you have to maintain. See.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that makes that better versus doing my own blog, for example, right?
Well, where you have to do 3 to 5 times a week. This is like once a week. Every week you send something out. I wrote an article and it was published by GPN. A, you wrote an article and you're an expert in that space. B, it was published by somebody besides you. You can send that out to your downline and to your warm market list, people that you're marketing to, as a keep in touch strategy.
Great idea. I like that.
You know what I mean? So that's how content marketing could work for you. And you're a technical writer. It's a short little piece once a week about something you see in the world relating to home business or your business, an experience you had, anything.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's the world through Paul's eyes. So that's another possibility. And again, because it's real short and you're a writer already, that could work,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I would stay away from things like business networking because it takes too much time and you don't have that time. Advertising. Have you ever thought about advertising at all?
I have, and that's something that appeals to me.
Okay, let me show you a resource then, and so we can learn about it, and we can talk about it next week, okay?
Okay.
So go with me over to back to GPN Center, and go to GPN Academy.
Okay.
Okay, and then at GPN Academy, under the bottom, at the very last box, it says Call Archives, all the way toward the bottom of the page.
Okay.
And then under Call Archives, the last link, the third link under Call Archives is called GPN How-To Calls. So click the View Details of that third box.
Okay.
And let me know when you're there.
I'm there now.
Oh, cool. And then where it says September 2012 recordings,
okay,
just go ahead and click that. It'll drop down all the recordings that were done in September of 2012. And the one I suggest you listen to is the September 27th call, How Advertising Works, Why It Works, How to Make It Work, with Mike Lewis and I. And he also gave us a PDF where it says download the accompanying document. See where I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
Okay, and so open that up and save it to your hard drive when you're listening to the call, and then you have that open and follow along with what he's saying and see if that would be a possibility for you. Again, as a writer, you may be able to come up with good headlines and things like that, and we can talk in more detail about implementing that next week. Today I want to decide what that third or even a fourth marketing tactic would be. You send an ad out a week, passive, it could do you some good. Blog posting, one piece of content, short little article, short little observation of life and home business by Paul, could be sent to your inactive people every week. And then we're hoping they'll either opt out or respond. So that positions you as an expert in the space. That's why to do it. So those two things together could really work well for you. What do you think?
Yeah. So
could you commit to doing it, I guess?
Doing a blog entry, basically, what you're saying, per week.
Once a week. One blog entry a week, and email it out to all your downline. And one ad a week.
One ad a week.
That
sounds doable. Sorry. Okay.
And so that would be extending your attraction potential. And it also, when you're talking to warm market people you just encounter in everyday life, you could do the same article strategy with them as well. See? So let's look at that. Listen to that September 27th, 2012 call. Look at the document, the PDF. See if advertising would be something that you could do, would commit to. And then also take a look at the content idea. Let's just see if we can get one article between now and the next time we talk, which would be about a week from now, get an article out there that we can put on the blog that you could share with people in your downline and people in your marketing program that you're not able to reach.
Okay, so do a blog, do an advertising, and then do a what was the third one again? I'm sorry.
Call the warm market.
Call the warm market. Okay.
Just the downline, like we talked about. So basically, the content relates to your people that you get in the queue that aren't responding. You can just stay in touch with them that way and give them the opportunity to opt out if they want. And I'll show you next week. I'll show you how to do that once you decide that's what you'd like to do. And then the advertising is another passive strategy that complements your voice broadcast and pre-qualified deluxe lead strategy that helps to fill the pipeline with people that you could talk to directly or that you could send over to the free consultation, per the week one conversation. They'd be like semi-warm market.
I see.
Okay? And then, so it all relates nicely. It creates a nice circle of attraction for you. And if you can accomplish those two things, one blog post, 150 words or less, as short as you can make it and still convey a good idea, a personal observation or an experience or something like that about home business from your perspective, and then do an ad a week, you're getting some good traction going on here. We're getting like a real business starting to ramp up, and you're not spending a lot of your personal time doing it. So they relate nicely. What do you think? What's your feel on all that?
Well, it sounds good. I guess I won't know until we get into it. I suppose that's the thing.
Well, I'm always of this mind. We can talk about a lot of great ideas, and there's a million things you could do, but the only things that work are the things you actually do. And there'll be things you'll actually do, like you got into the voice broadcast, you're doing the warm market stuff, and there'll be things that you won't do. So let's just do a test, and let's just see. Let's make an action step of writing a 150-word or less blog post observation about small business. Email it to me. Let's do that before our next meeting, which will be a week from today or a week from this conversation, sometime next week based on our schedules, okay?
Okay.
And then let's also, so that's the content piece, and let's also listen to the advertising call between now and the next time we meet, and let's make sure that it is something you want to do. And so what we'll do next week, if we get on the call and go, oh, gee, I didn't have time to do the blog post, we'll know that's not going to be a strategy you'll do. And it's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, we want to do things you want to do as opposed to not want to do. Okay? And then if we get to the advertising part of the conversation, what'd you think of the advertising ideas? And you say, oh, I didn't have time to listen to the call. We'll assume advertising won't be something you'll take the time to do. Okay, but we have to realize that every week, every single week, we got to spend some time working on our business if we hope to make it work for us. So, Paul, let me ask you, right now, how many hours a week do you find you spend working on your business?
Probably about 10 to 15.
10 to, and what do you do in that time? Those 10 to 15 hours, what are you doing to work on your business?
That involves training, which are, there's team calls that involve, there's following up and talking with my downline and as well, and either exchanging ideas or getting updates on what's happening with them, helping them, coaching them essentially, or mentoring. That's probably a couple hours there, really a week, and then also working with my upline, that's not as much. We just do touch it about daily, once daily, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then the other part of it too is exploring and working toward new customers and prospects. And the couple ways I'm doing that, with you there at GPN, and also spending time, because I consider this part of doing my business, our time here.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's that time there. And then I'm also, exploring. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I'm going into farmers markets and festivals now.
Okay.
To promote the product and at a minimum level, just generating sales. Doing that.
Okay. Okay.
So
okay. Good. Now, of those activities, which of those activities is generating revenue for you? Not the potential of revenue, but actually creating revenue.
Yeah, there's lots of potential here, but currently, no. None of these are at the moment. Other than working with my downline, that is generating it because
yep.
It's working. I've seen a difference in people ordering, making more orders, putting more orders through for products.
Okay. Good. So definitely keep doing that. And then anything that's not making you money, like training calls, for example, we know what we know, and we learn what we learn. And to keep learning and not using or not having a result of making more money, including these calls, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I mean, with GPN, you're all passive. With your company, you're going to fairs and doing a lot of active things. And so it's fine to do that. I mean, great, let's go. Let's anything that makes money. But if there's no return on the investment, we have to and the investment is time, because the money I know is not a lot in those regards. But the investment of time, if you're spending your time, which is more precious than money, because when you run out, you can never make any more. When you're spending your time, you're not getting a return on investment. You got to be ruthless and think about that and ensure that everything you do is creating a result. And also remember a dual path. Only 3 to 5% of people you talk to about the business are really going to be able to do what you're doing. You're a 3 to 5% person because you can embrace the concept of promotions and marketing and sales. Most people, 80+%, 85% plus, cannot. And that's why there's a 95% failure rate in your downline right now, and also in network marketing in general. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's only going to be about 5 out of every 100, 3 out of every 100 that are really going to do anything. The rest don't because they're being told to do something they're either not comfortable with or not willing to do. Most of the time, they're being told to do something they're not willing to do, and that's why they don't do it. So when you run across the 3 to 5% person, move them right into your business. Don't even, we're going to run a dual path here. Move those people right into your business. When you run into people that can't do sales, they're not the 3 to 5% like you are, bring them to GPN. So use GPN in a way that makes sense, but realize they're only going to be, out of every 100 people you talk to, there's only going to be 3 to 5 that would be able to do the business the way you're describing it, the way you're doing it. The rest will not be able to do that. That's the problem in your downline right now that we're looking to resolve by introducing them to GPN. When you run across the 80, 90%er that can't do what you do, won't do what you do, isn't willing to do it, move them over to a free consultation. Well, let's see if there is a way to make home business work for you. And I'm part of a community, offer them the consultation. So that way, and also if you run across network marketers that aren't performing, aren't doing anything, you can also earn money by introducing them to GPN. So those paths are things to be aware of, especially when you're out in the public and especially when people ask you about the business itself. So just keep that in mind. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Does it feel like something you can do?
You mean as far as those two dual paths, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm also I'm lucky enough. I have at least 1 or 2 people here locally that may be in that 3 to 5% area, which is good for me.
Yeah. I mean, like the 5%ers, there's 3 to 5% of people in every 100, 3 to 5 people will be able to do the business often will be able to do the business the way the company shows them how to do it. The rest, 90 plus, cannot. 95 people out of 100 cannot. So you see how GPN fits into this program.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why I love GPN.
And this week, what we're talking about now I'm talking about getting really, really, really deadly serious about running your business like a business. With any business, there's attraction or marketing, there's sales and a system of selling that converts people, on a regular basis. There's the operations side of a business. There's the management side of a business. You're the CEO. Paul is a CEO of the Paul Company, right? And so, you have to make decisions that are good for you. But now we're talking about let's go make money with our business. This is how we do it. We get deadly serious about all of these things we're talking about today.
Yeah, and I like that you make the distinction between what activity is producing money.
Well, you're the CEO, and your shareholders are, your bank account. Because you don't have a family, I know. If you had a family, the shareholders would be the wife and the kids and all that going, Dad or honey, where's the money?
The free fish. They're sort of, but anyway, okay.
You see what I'm saying? But your success, when you succeed, it builds on itself. And so your success builds on success, and it grows and grows and grows and grows. And you get stronger with every victory, and you get weaker every time you don't take an action. Your business gets weaker every time you don't take an action. So if what we talked about today, if it's not acted upon based on the action steps we've outlined today, your business gets weaker. You get weaker as a business person, and ultimately this is why, not you, but statistically 95% of people fail, because they do things every day that make them weaker, and they don't do the things every day that make them stronger. And the reason they don't do them is because they're hard to do. It takes discipline. That's hard for most people. It's really not hard, but it can be difficult. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's why coaching supports you.
I heard a great saying just on that quick note, is that the pain of regret is always is you want the pain of the discipline or the pain of the regret, which is worse. Yeah.
Which is worse, you see? Right. Exactly. And for some people, they won't do it. And that's where GPN comes in. For those most of people that won't do it, they won't do it because they're uncomfortable, see?
Yeah.
And so you have to say, how are you going to manage your time, energy, and money, the three sources of power that we've talked about before, to maintain the tactic volume that we talked about today to see effectiveness? So the warm market, we said, 3 to 5, maybe 10 phone calls a day, depending on how quickly you want to reach those 90 people. With the pre-stage market, let the voice blast, the voice broadcast program work for you, and then know that we're working on past leads for you as well. We're not going to do the premium pre-staging where you're involved. With content marketing, we're going to do one blog post a week that you send to me for the GPN blog. And with advertising, we're not going to do it yet. We're going to listen to the call this week and decide whether or not that's a tactic we want to add. But we know we want to add content marketing. So now the question is, how do you manage your time, energy, money to maintain the tactic volume that we just talked about and do it? So how will you do that? Where does this all fit in? Like, when will you reach these people, these 90 people, at 3 to 5, 10 calls a day?
Well, I'm going to be continue to follow, like I said, with those people that I've identified right off the bat.
Right.
So I have at least 6 that I'm going to be calling over the next week.
Okay. So, and do you have a time of day that you typically do that, or when do you get that done?
Whenever I have a free moment, basically.
Okay. And throughout the day, you just make calls. You call, like you have 10 minutes at 10 o'clock, you'll call.
Yeah, or lunchtime, or after work.
Okay. So you kind of do it different times throughout the day, but it's basically when you have 10 or 15 minutes at lunchtime, maybe to eat lunch and then talk to a couple people at lunchtime, and then after work, maybe make a couple of calls as well. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So let's write that down when you're going to do it. Let's commit to it.
Okay.
That's the calling. Now with content marketing, where we're going to write this blog post, realizing that, you don't have to sit down and write it all day, all at one time. You could write a rough draft one day. You could polish it, a day or so later. You could get to a final a day or so later. 3, 4, 5 days, it's done. Once a week is all we're looking for. When do you think you can have time to do that?
I'm going to have to fit that in. I'm thinking on Wednesday. It's generally a good day for me because
okay.
I'm from home.
Okay, so let's add that to our schedule for next Wednesday. We're going to write the blog post. A short observation, experience you had, something that's impactful for you about home business. And then email it to me by Thursday. Good. And so every Wednesday we could spend, an hour or so doing that or whatever it takes you. You're a writer, so it may not take you that long. And then the third one, the advertising call, just listening to the call, it's about an hour. When will you be able to do that between now and the next time we meet?
I can't say specifically. I probably will listen to it during the day at work, maybe.
Okay.
But either today or Monday.
Plug in the earbuds and listen to it on Monday?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I do it while I'm at work. I can listen to it because a lot of my work requires a lot of kind of repetitive, mindless stuff, but it's all sometimes.
Okay. That's what happens to a lot of people, Bob.
Like formatting tables, I spent 4 hours yesterday just doing that.
Yep.
Sometimes, a lot of times it isn't. A lot of times it's very mind engaging too. So
sure.
Technical. So it just varies. Depends.
Okay, so you'll spend an hour, maybe like early part of the week, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, listening to that call, so we can decide. Okay, good. Well, then, based on all that, it sounds to me like we should be meeting again next Thursday or Friday to see how we did, because we're keeping score now. I'm the CEO's advisor at this point. As your coach, I'd be the CEO advisor at this point. So if the CEO isn't running the business profitably, his advisor or her advisor would probably want to let them know about it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So now we're keeping score. Okay, what is Paul really doing to make money, to make his business work in a much bigger way? Because I know ultimately you want to stop working your job and kind of live more lifestyle freedom, right?
Exactly, yes.
That's kind of the why we're doing all this, correct?
It is. Yes, and I appreciate that. You're giving me some structure, which I appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any other reason we're doing this besides lifestyle freedom?
I want to help my family, of course, too. But,
sure.
That's another motivation, of course. But
okay.
And, maybe help them to achieve lifestyle freedom.
There you go. Showing them it can be done by doing it yourself, right?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Excellent. Well, then let's do that. We'll set our next appointment here after the call's over, and we'll be good to go. So is there any questions on anything, or do you see any roadblocks that'll keep you from doing these things we discussed today?
Nothing that comes to mind at this point. So I think.
Okay, good. Well, then just remember, we will be keeping score to analyze what Paul will really do. And then next week, in week 4 of our coaching, we'll understand more about the big why, and also, what final tactics will finalize this business plan, if we will, to make this all come together in a powerful and impactful way that ultimately leads to you gaining what you want to gain over time. Okay?